I've been thinking about the Nintendo NX, or the Nintendo Switch. I like the name. I like the form factor and everything. I like how you can take it with you. I just hope they get third-party support. I'm a big fan of Nintendo. I really like their consoles. I think I have most of them. I believe I got all of them. They're released in the US. I don't have a Famicom or anything like that. Let's see. The NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, Wii U. And I've got the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, Game Boy Micro. Then I got a Nintendo DS and a 3DS. And a new 3DS. So I've got a lot of Nintendo stuff. So I'm a big fan of them. I've also got some of the Gaming Watch things from Nintendo. I don't have all of them. I have one I got from Club Nintendo. So yeah, I like how the controllers detach and everything. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how powerful it is. Once we see the stats and everything, then we'll get it'd be a lot better, so we can actually know how it compares to the Xbox One and PS4. Right now, we're kind of like, we think it's going to be this, think it's going to be that. I'm going to try to hold off from all the speculation stuff. I'm just going to try to wait. It doesn't come out until like March of 2017. So it's a little ways off. But either way, I can't wait for it because I will probably be getting it. Today, I was sitting and thinking just about technology and how far we've come. Because I was thinking about when I was younger and we'd go on vacations with my family. And I mean, like, before I could drive, like maybe 12, 13, 14 years old. And with my family, we'd go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And it was like an 8 to 9 hour drive, depending on traffic. And the van we had a TV in it and a VCR. And me and my brother would bring so many tapes, like movies and things we recorded off TV, so that we could watch them. And we had our like a CD player, like I had a CD, like a Sony CD player, and I think my brother had a Sony or Philips or whatever brand, and we had our Game Boy. But that trip was killer. I mean, an 8 to 9 hour drive. That's pretty far. But we made the best of it. We had a lot of stuff that we were really blessed to have the TV and the VCR. And we actually found a way to hook up a game system to it. We got an inverter and everything. So we had quite a bit of stuff. Okay, VCR. If you don't know what a VCR is, the VHS tapes, it's before DVD. So it's if you're a young person that's never seen a VHS tape, then be thankful. It was one of those things, like you get done watching the movie, you had to rewind that tape back to the beginning before you could watch it again. But then I was thinking about one of these, like an iPad. Like, holy cow. Could you imagine what we could do? I mean, like, this one I think is a 128 gig, I believe, iPad mini. And it's like, if I could have put my movies on this and taken them with me and had more than 8 hours, I mean, you can put a lot of stuff on this. I'm not even talking about one with no 3G or 4G or anything like that. I mean, just what you can put on the device. Holy cow. I mean, and like kids today, like they have so much. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's not. I mean, growing up with technology is really good. Like, there's a lot of people in my generation that don't know how to use them. There's no use technology. And today's generation, I mean, you have kids that are like 3, 4 years old that can use iPads and computers and stuff like that. So it's something, it's, when I think about, like, we went from the Wright brothers, that first people to fly an airplane, well over 100 years ago. And within that amount of time, we went from that to flying anywhere in the world we want, and going from no computers or anything like that to this. I mean, holy cow. I mean, just really sit back and think of what we've accomplished. I mean, I'm recording this on my cell phone, and my cell phone is so much more powerful than the first computer I owned. The first computer I owned was an Acer 166 megahertz computer. I think it had 32 megs of RAM, and like I think it had a 2 gig hard drive in it. So yeah, technology has advanced so much that I'm really excited to see where it goes. I mean, think about the drones we have, the DJI, thanks to the company makes with the Phantom drones. You have 4K video on those. I mean, for like $1,400. Yes, that's a lot of money, but for $1,400, that's in the scope of regular people can buy that. That's not movie company. I mean, you can make some really nice stuff with just consumer grade equipment now. I mean, on my YouTube channel, I know I don't do the best, but I think my videos are pretty good. I mean, the video quality. Now, my acting and my content, some people may not think is that great, but I do think that I do have pretty good quality stuff. I mean, the actual what I put out looks good, and I hope it sounds good. But it really gets crazy when you start thinking about it. How, I mean, I have a T5i, Canon T5i, and now the T6i is out, and I think it shoots in 4K. I can't remember if it shoots in 4K or not, but it has Wi-Fi on it. I could use this as the viewfinder. I mean, I'm like, holy cow, that'd be awesome. I don't have the money to upgrade to a new one because mine works perfectly fine. And it's just, when you look at these things, how fast technology is advancing. Like, I would love to get one of the Sony 4K camcorders, but again, they're a little expensive. But it's in the realm of the average person can buy them. It just, I mean, granted, you will have to save and to get one because they are a humongous purchase. But it's one of those things to where if you're wanting to be in a movie, to make movies and things like that, it's worth it. Also, I do think starting kids off with technology, and I don't mean like, oh, they're born here, stick an iPad in front of them to let the iPad babysit them. That's not what I'm saying. I mean in moderation, with video games and iPads and Android devices, whatever. I mean, I'm as you can see, I'm pretty much in the Apple ecosystem. I have an iPhone, I have an iPad, I have a MacBook that I do my video editing on. So that's probably what I'll stay in because I'm kind of locked into that ecosystem. I have so many things I've purchased and music and stuff like that, that moving to another system like Android or whatever else is out there right now, like the Windows one, or I think most of the other ones are dead. I think Palm is dead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all the other systems out there have been gone kaput. But it's something that I do believe letting a kid, like when they get, especially when they get a little bit older, like 4 or 5 years old. Knowing how to use one is really good. Also, I do believe that you should teach your kid how to type. I can type about 48 words a minute, I think is what I average out at. My wife thinks she can type close to 60 words a minute. She's a lot faster than I am. No, typing code, like as a programmer, I can't type that fast because of all the special characters. But like writing a paper for college or something like that, I can type really fast. I remember, well, this is being when I was originally in college in around 2000, I think. So this has been 16, 17 years ago. I think it was around year 2000, 1999, 2000. I was in a computer lab, and somebody said that they weren't sure they're going to be able to get their paper turned in. And the person goes, "Oh, haven't you started on it?" Because it was due the next day. He goes, "No, I've got it done. I've written it out on paper. I just haven't typed into the computer yet." And I'm like, it's going to take him that long? But you remember, like, I took typing in high school. I actually learned to type on an old mechanical typewriter, one when you press the carriage back. When you heard the ding, if you didn't start pushing, you pushed it off the typewriter. And you actually had to hit the keys with enough force to imprint the letter. So that's what I learned to type on. So I think that's a part of my problem with increasing my speed, is because I'm still used to, even though it's being, I never have used a mechanical typewriter after that class, but still yet the things I learned in that class, I still apply now. Like, you had to wait for one butt key to come up before you press the next one because you didn't want to jam the typewriter, which I did constantly until I got into the end of the year after I got out of that class. And it's just one of those things. I wait for my finger to come up before I hit the next key. And that's just something that with old typewriters you have to do. So I do believe that. I'm not saying I don't think kids should have to learn how to type on a typewriter. No, I think you should learn how to type on a computer because that's what the modern technology is, and the likelihood of them having to use a typewriter is probably very slim. So, actually, Adrian has 2 iPads. Everybody's probably like, "Wait, 2? Why has your son got 2 iPads?" Well, because it's mine and my wife's, like, the original iPad that had the Retina display. So it's like the second or third iPad that came out. So it is many, many years old, and we haven't used them in a very long time. And it's like, basically what it is, we have one always charged, so that if we forget to charge the other one, if we forget to plug the other one in, he can still use the second one. Because we like to we want him to, like, be able to use it. Like, right now we have to lock the screen to where he can't really touch it. So, like, we could put, like, an educational program on for him, or something like that. And so, like, we don't want him to watch a lot of TV, and that includes this. I'm saying TV, but anything he's watching electronic wise. I want him to play with actual physical items still yet. He loves cars and he plays with those so much, but I do want him to get acclimated to using one. And like, sometimes he'll see it one charging, he'll pick it up, and it has a passcode on it. I mean, granted, it's just 1111 on the ones that are his, and he's gotten to the point where he's figured out that if he hits the 1 4 times, it unlocks it. So yeah, and like, I've never shown him that, but he's just seen me do it. I mean, granted, you see somebody do something enough, he'll imitate it. But kids today are very lucky to be growing up in this era and have what they have. Granted, I was very lucky to grow up in my era, to have what I had, because because when I was younger, I had scarlet fever and measles and chicken pox. I had chicken pox and measles at the same time. Just I had, let's see, tonsils, adenoids, and tubes put in my ears at the same time. So like, I was really sick as a kid. I'm lucky to have survived. And if I'd have been born in the previous generation, I probably wouldn't have survived. But the thing is, like, every generation is lucky to be born in their generation. But I think it's the where we've come to so quickly from my generation to the present one that it's just, I'm not sure how to say it. Just I don't know. Just kids. I hope that I hope sometimes that some people, some of the younger generations, do stop and think and go, "Wow, look at what we've accomplished and where we've come from."